All right, so WorkFi, it's kind of like a new topic that I'm about to discuss today. But essentially, what I want to discuss is the future of employment or the future of work and how it will play out on the blockchain. So to start the journey, I would like to take you back in time and think that before the Industrial Revolution, we all worked in a task-based approach. So everything was paid by task, and that's how people used to live by. Um, so that has changed, of course, with the Industrial Revolution. And the reason why that change happened was because people need to have a structure. So in order to operate in factories, they needed to have a work schedule, and they needed to have secure income also to be there and to be physically present every single workday. And that also brought another stuff that was also relevant for the work place, like on one side, having more security in terms of having contracts, in terms of having secure payments at the end of the week or at the end of the month, depending if you're living in the UK or anywhere else. But also some other stuff like safety in the work environment. So everyone had to follow specific rules, and that worked pretty well until the internet appears. So with the new evolution of work, and now by having many people working remotely, we now have what we call a digital gig economy. So it's kind of like going back to the future scenario, where people now start to work more on a task-based approach. So instead of just going to their job from a nine to six hour, they can simply work for the companies that they like, or do the tasks that they actually like. So this is what we're seeing right now. But what has changed from having an industrial scenario to this one? Well, now we have the possibility of having digital payments. So that wasn't possible before. So you actually needed to go to a place to collect your salary and all of that. So that is more or less covered. And the downside or the cons is that, of course, there are some trust issues. Is that specific employer or company going to pay you in the end? There's obviously late payments and what we call lack of job security. So you don't have a contract, so that might put you on the spot if you're not sure if what you're going to deliver is actually going to be paid at the end of the day. So smart contracts are a solution for that. And basically Ethereum and now other blockchains that offer smart contracts enable the possibility of configuring one contract, one digital contract, in which it is possible to enforce these payments and the delivery of work as well. So they also boost transparency. And the reason why I brought this figure over here is because that's this is just a fun fact, not related with the talk. We have this exact same design on our co-working space back in Portugal. So going into the topic, WorkFi. So what is WorkFi? WorkFi for us is a mix between work and finance. So kind of like you have on DeFi the possibility of owning your assets and swapping them freely without having an intermediary. It is also possible to do the same in the work environment. So that's what we hope to accomplish also with this new trend. And so we can use tools like decentralized social graphs and soulbound tokens and create this transversal reputation that can assure that you are an attested worker for this environment, and basically enhancing the trust between organizations that are paying you to do the job and the people that are actually doing that job. So the idea is, in a nutshell, to secure, timely, and fair payments for everyone. So the pillars of trust for this to happen is what we call validators or curators, as you want to call them. So these actors come into play to actually be the third party that attests that that specific person did the job, so they deserve to get paid at the end of that job. So that's what we believe that will maintain this infrastructure running. Can be digital validator, like automated validator, but it can be also a person that gets a percentage of the job by doing this validation. All right. So by distributing this role of validation among multiple entities or people, we can reduce the bias of validation. So it's no longer the organization setting up the rules, but actually the market. And that, again, increases the fairness and promotes a higher standard of work. So now going into what we're building and why I'm talking about WORKFI. So at LayerX, we basically have three main products. One of them, which is the one that we started with, is Taikai. So it's a hackathon platform, and we've been doing many Web3 events. And what we found was that hackathons are actually a good place for you to start getting into this space, to start developing your solutions. And in some cases, it's beginning to become a way of work. So people that attend many hackathons and do that in order to get the prizes, and that's how they make their money. But that's not a sustainable solution. It might be interesting for you to kickstart your own project and then move it into a startup and then grow from there. What we found that could be actually useful for this scenario is the bounties product, which is bPro Network. So it's basically a protocol that organizations can launch their bounties. So I'm developing X feature or X tooling, and I want the community to be able to provide me the solution, and I'm willing to pay X amount of USDC or whatever token that you want to use. And basically, as a worker or as a user, I can see the bounties that were put there, and I can select the ones that fit into my criteria or my skills or what I'm willing to do. So the way it works basically is you can submit a proposal to a specific job. Typically, it's on top of GitHub, so it's a pull request that you make as a developer, and that PR is reviewed by the curators ecosystem that I've just described before, and they get 3% of that specific bounty just for doing the creation part. But what happens if the curator is actually a back actor and they're colluding with the person that is actually submitting the work in order for them to get the money? So what we designed was a dispute period, so that the organization or any other party can come in and say, look, this is not the best solution for what I'm looking for, and you can actually ask to be proposed another solution for that specific bounty. So yeah, basically that's it, and that's what we're doing for this specific product. Then we have a third product, which is something that we've developed just for people to get started in the Web3 space. So it's just an SDK that Web2 developers can use to quickly, or Web3 as well, to quickly develop tokens, NFTs, or whatever Web3 projects that you want to build. So going into the use cases of this WORKFI movement, I brought one use case or two use cases inside our hackathon platform. So one of them is what we call POP, which is proof of participation. It's an NFT that you get at the end of a hackathon by that attests that you participated in that hackathon, that you earn a specific position in that hackathon. So it's something that you can use to leverage both your resume, for example, if you're looking for a job, or something that you can use for your startup eventually. And the other thing, the other use cases is the digital identity. So at the moment, we've now put ENS as an identifier in the platform. So that's one way to validate that you're real. But we want to have more use cases for that in the future and have multiple sources so that we can verify your identity. So regarding the bPro network case, this is something that I've already covered, but I wanted to say that everything that is done through our protocol is done on chain. This means that when someone submits a bounty, an organization launches a bounty, that money is locked in the smart contract. So you know that if we're able to execute the job, you're going to get paid, because that money is not on our custody, it's not on the organization's custody, it's actually on the smart contract. So if everything goes well and you submit a good job, then you're getting paid, and you're getting paid through your wallet automatically without hurdles like doing a transfer, international transfer or whatever, right? And yeah, so looking ahead in terms of the future of work, for us, the future is multi-chain and interoperable. Just to give an example and why we believe this and why we are also doing work on that front. So we started bPro network by deploying on Moonbeam, which is part of the Polkadot ecosystem. But we quickly realized that if we want to grow as a product, we need to be on as many chains as possible. And that's why we've integrated with more chains at the moment. And that also brings the possibility of integrating several communities of developers around this product. And that's a good part, because you as a developer can select the bounties that you want to solve independently of the chain that you're working on. Oh yeah, and also we also believe that it is possible to teleport your credentials, like your reputation, for any task or job platform in the future. And that is not possible by using centralized platforms like freelancing.com or whatever Web2 platforms that exist. Account abstraction will also be interesting to bring in the next users so that they can abstract from the hurdle of having to create any type of wallet without having to think about security issues and all of that. So that's what we believe that will also make possible for this to be used by not just Web3 nerds, but also for anybody else that wants to be a part of this. And also digital identities and in the form of soulbound tokens specifically, and also ZK proofs that allow you to prove your identity without revealing your wallet or any other data, will be also very important for changing the game of this WORKFI scenario. So basically, to wrap up, we believe that this will be the future, and we hope that many more solutions are sprung either in the Polkadot ecosystem or the Web3 ecosystem in general, or at least that's what we're aiming for. So if you have any solution that you are developing in this direction, feel free to reach us out, because we would love to see how we could build together and make synergies on this. Final note, I would like to thank you and say that my contacts are on the left, and this presentation that I've just shown are on the right. so that you can get that access. Picking up on the previous speaker notes, we also have socials, so you can follow us at LayerX or Taikai or Bpro. And we also are hiring. So we are hiring a full stack developer to help us out on this journey, specifically on the Bpro side of things. So if you're interested, also, I would invite you to apply. And that's it on my side. Thank you very much, guys.